continuation of our overview of the grants management web-based tool that was used by CTAC to manage its technology transfer program. I've already completed the registration form, and so I'm going to go ahead and hit the register button to submit the registration. And you'll actually see I entered for the ORI a duplicate. I'm getting an error message saying that the agency ORI submitted was already included with an earlier registration. So this application has the intelligence at the time of submission. It's pinging the database, and it's saying that, oh, for this application year, we already received an application from an agency using this ORI, and that's an additional safeguard that CTAC requested. But let me just change that ORI by a digit, and that should be sufficient to allow me to register. And you see I've successfully submitted the agency's registration. I'll receive a confirmation email with more information. So let's just take a look at the email. You submitted your agency registration, and this agency registration will be reviewed, and we will contact you within several business days regarding next steps. So let's just take a look from an administrator perspective. And again, I'm on the same website, but I'm going to log in as an administrator. And I'll see a number of tabs here. We always start with the search tab so that it's easy. This is frequently used when we get a FOIA request or someone within ONDCP needs to understand what happened with respect to a particular grant application. This is where they would start. But for our purposes today, we'll just take a look at the registrations tab to see that there are any new registrations that have come in. And we'll actually see that today we've got a test. So I'll actually go ahead and pull that up, and we'll scroll down to take a closer look at it. Now, I mentioned earlier that we actually did a validation on the back end for ORIs, and this is a registration that I submitted earlier with that initial ORI. But let me just show you one other validation step that we created. We basically set up a lookup table, and as you can see, it's not finding that ORI that I entered earlier. However, if I was to do something along the lines of Fairfax and hit search, I'm going to come up with a number of law enforcement agencies so that I would be able to validate it. So if an agency had put, Fairfax County, I would be able to go in here and look down until I came across the appropriate ORI for the Fairfax County PD so that I know that they're using the correct number. Let me just back out of that. And I see that all the information that I entered earlier has actually been entered. We're going to, this is if I was to invalidate it, I could do so here. But in this case, I'm going to go ahead and create this record. I'm going to create an application and approve it. And I'm getting a message saying this cannot be undone. And I say OK. And the agency application was successfully created. So what that does is it generates a second email to the person who actually applied for the program, and I'll just we'll take a look at what that looks like. Your agency registration was validated. Please below find the link to the tech transfer program website. Here's my username and here is my password. So I'm going to go ahead and just take and copy this, and in our next video we will show you how to log in as an applicant.